I'm not going to hide the fact that I have a fondness for Codemasters. Firstly, they're old school. Seeing their logo makes me go teary-eyed, reminding me of names like Team 17, Psygnosis, Microprose, and the Bitmap Brothers. Secondly, they once shipped a copy of Micro Machines with a cartridge that contained 2 extra control ports, because they knew the best way to play it was 4-player, and they wanted their players to enjoy the best experience. Even if it did mean missing out on some extra revenue with some cheap, overpriced branded peripheral. A trick I'm sure even they wouldn't miss in this plastic tat-driven world we now find ourselves in. But at least in this world we can be sure of one thing. That any driving title is in safe hands with the talented ladies and gentlemen of Codemasters. So much so that it's difficult to review such a game without feeling that I might have said it all before, or by just trying to pick out faults, which is not what this job is about. I could repeat myself by saying that the Ego engine is looking better than ever, with the F1 gloss applied, that the handling of the cars is tight and difficult to master, but feels as satisfying and exhilarating as anything you will ever have played before. With speeds replicated along with sound and visuals so authentic, so visceral that once you have mastered the driving, the game sucks you into a weird hypnotic trance of concentration, only broken by the improvisational moments of overtaking, a change in the weather, or some bloody relative walking in front of the television. Damn and blast, mother, I was in 10th position there! Which is another point. You won't be expected to be finishing first at the beginning of your career. You'll be playing second fiddle in a team with initially low expectations of you. Which is good, because this is genuinely a tough game. Even with the difficulty at easier settings, and the flashbacks that are now steadfast in any of Codemasters racing titles, with so many laps to complete, you could have used them all up after the 4th bend, which makes the game completely unforgiving, and all the more satisfying when you learn to drive proper, make your teammate look a numpty, and makes even finishing 10th feel like an achievement. To some people this might be far too steep a difficulty curve, and for those non-driving enthusiasts, probably a bit of a turn-off, with other areas of the game not providing anything to keep the more casual gamer happy. But they'll be okay, they've got their plastic overpriced tat to play with. The interview sections and level progression feel a little tagged on, and don't really add much to the overall gameplay, but only offer minor distractions from the on-track shenanigans. When online, it seems that unranked multiplayer is full of people who race like this. This will probably mean sticking only to racing your mates, or trusted players that adhere to the spirit of the sport, and not the spirit of stock car racing. So it's another triumph for Codemasters, a must-have for any F1 fan or racing game for that matter. It perhaps lacks a little bit of the developer's personality that we're used to having stamped on their games, but it's a small price to pay for a licensed title produced with such style and panache. Huzzah!